Okay, we're back. It's only been a week, I think, since I was here. I think 2 weeks on those, maybe even 3 weeks on those. But so I'm going to knock them all out today just to kind of get everything back on the same schedule. Because now that we're getting near the end of probably the end of the brain work, nectar flow, then we're going to start, you have to, getting things back on the same schedule. Weird ass bugs. Get out of there, dummy. Now you're going to drown. So, these got the feeder on top. Not as many ants, so maybe the Vaseline worked. It's gross, as I found out on the hive at John's, but maybe it works. Do have to be careful because I found the queen on the one at John's. I'm going to pour this out because it's probably gross anyway. This syrup, they've drank most of it, and what's left's probably getting a little rank, so I do this over here away from the rest of the hives, and then I can cover it up with a lid to hopefully, well, that's weird, some funky spider, because I don't want to create swarming like I probably have on some of the other hives by doing dumb things. Alright, I gotta take a peek under here. Oh, not hardly any bird comb, so he's probably not up there. They're definitely not super happy with me. Of course, I haven't smoked him yet because I'm a dummy and forgot. Now that we're in dearth territory, it's probably going to be more key. Alright, girls. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. I think this was a brand new box last time. No, surely I put some frames up here. Yeah, those. Surely I put some frames up here that were already somewhat drawn, because those are. There's no way they're drawing out 3 frames in a week. Yeah, this was the. Never mind. I looked at my notes before and then just forgot everything. These are the. Tell you what, let me cover up this thing with the syrup on top. These are the ones that I put a couple wet supers in, was worried about it getting rubbed out. Still worried about it getting rubbed out. Let's see. As long as they got a queen, my worry will diminish. Alright. I'm curious as to see what they've done up here since I gave it to them. These frames to them. Yeah, let's get this one that's at the back. Has nothing on it. Then we'll scoot over. See if they put anything up here yet. Not now. She would think they'd put some of the feed that I've given them up here. Not really. A little bit, maybe. Trying to see if I see eggs up here, but I don't see any. If not, we'll hop into the bottom box real quick and see what we can see. Yeah, they haven't really done much up here. Probably, I mean, their defense, they were probably busy cleaning it out. Yeah, I need to see inside the frames, dummies. Yeah, I don't see anything. Like I said, they may just still be cleaning. So, and just using the feed instead of putting it somewhere. So, all right. Well, that's weird. That's kept over already. I wonder if that's funny. It looks like they may have just taken the honey that was still in the wet and just kept it over. Because I know I'd scraped all this off. There's no way that was. That's kind of funny. They're like, nah, we're not going to clean that out. We're just going to save it for later. So, which makes sense. So, bees are smarter than beekeepers more often than not. All right. Look out, gals. Bruh. They're a little hot. Not crazy, but a little hot. All right. Now, let's look at the next box. We'll take that off and put that over everything because I do want to try to start keeping stuff more covered now that we might be potentially more dirty. Of course, now they may just go down into that part of the feeder, but alright, guys, we're going to do that. I haven't eaten all the pollen patties. I mean, it's only been a week. I think I gave them 4, so we'll just pop some of the outer frames out And then look, this one looks like it's way looser. Doesn't have as much on it. I say that now, it won't move. Here we go. Got a couple guards trying to kill me, so let's see here. Yeah, they haven't done anything to those, so let's just scooch to the middle. I gotta be careful here because one of these is the stupid comb that's wonky that's gonna just fall off. I'm gonna try not to pull that frame out of the box because I don't want the frame to fall off. So actually, I haven't marked that. I thought last time with some sort of X or something, didn't I? I scratched it up. Maybe not. Or they've already cleaned up the scratch. So let's go ahead and scoot these over, and I'll pull this paint frame out of here. See what everything looks like. All right, we got gals. Drawing out on the frame next to it. Oh, that's, yeah, I mean, she's still laying, still doing the work. I don't see any eggs in, well, can I? Yeah, I can't see well enough to see eggs. Just giving up. Without some magnification. Wonky comb on the next one. So, yeah, I'm going to just get out of here. I mean, they're doing their thing. All I'm going to do is harm being in here, like squash that bee I just squashed. Move. Let's just get out of here, and then I'll give them some fresh feed. Probably just give them less because they didn't drink as much as the other bees did. It's kind of weird. They're a bigger hive, but I guess they just have a larger forager base, so they're not having to drink as much. All right. There we go. Come on, get out of my face for a second, please. Thank you. All right, put this off. Put the trap back in because I always forget that. Yeah, it didn't have a ton in it, but it'll do. Alright, we'll put this back on for now, but no, I gotta come out here and refill it later. Move dummies. Right now I gotta get the couple bees that I stupidly let get in there. Alright, gals, you gotta go. Everybody who can fly away, fly away. If you can't fly away, I'll pick you up. Go. Yeah, fly down into the stick. That's smart. Go. Alright. Get out. There's always one. Alright. There's one in there later. I'll get her later. Alright, let's swap the camera over to here. So, you know what I didn't look enough of there, but I mean, I'm not getting back in now, is to make sure there were actual, well, it's been a week, and yeah, there were larvae in there, so yeah, she should still be laying. That one's just got so much wonky comb, I didn't want to screw it up, but back to the, did I cause swarming with, or cause robbing with the wet frames? Oh, this one's dry, because the other day I came over here and checked it and it was dry, so I wiped it out, so it's really dry, which is good. Makes it easier to work. So, alright. And of course that stupid Vaseline. That may work, but it's not worth it. Half hoping these girls could need another box, but they've been slow to build up, so probably not. Let's see. Frame stuck? Nope, not anymore. Given how hot everybody's been already, we're gonna smoke more than I have been. Alright, play peekaboo for the queen. Bunch of honey up, burr comb up there. I'll leave that though. There's no point in scraping it out if it's just honey. Alright. Haven't done a ton with the pollen patties, but you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I mean, some of those, well, some of those are going to be the, well, let me just hop in there first. Some of those are obviously the drawing frames I gave them from last time, but population's starting to look like they may actually be okay with another box. I've got a deep, this is medium, yeah, that's a weird bug. This is a medium, so I've got a deep over there. I could throw one here, go get out of the shed. So let's see what we got. Cow gals, well, that one's got nothing on it, but oh, that's one of the, they aren't really doing anything with it, so maybe not yet. Slide to the middle. That burr honeycomb in the middle, they're just absolutely covered it. So wild. Ruby, please stop. Look out, girls. Go to move frames that way and move them this way, or vice versa. Okay. Ruby, stop. Stupid fucking dog. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah. Again, we need to find larvae, though, because of my stupid potential robbing screw-up. Is that larvae there? Yep, that's larvae. I mean, not a ton of them, but that's definitely larvae right there, I can see. This one's mostly full anyway, so probably go farther that way and find more larvae, but let's see here real quick. Look out, gals. Sting me on my finger and don't let me smash you. Alright, let's see what we got here. This one's a little emptier, so hopefully I still see, yeah, there's some more larvae. So she's laying. It might be actually on this frame because there's plenty of empty spots. Let's see. Oh, a little waggle dance going on over there. Yeah, still laying well. Don't think they're backfilling enough to throw that other box on yet. At some point I'm going to have to throw it on there to get them and just start feeding them like drunken monkeys. Just to make sure I get them built up for winter, but I'll let them do a little more. Tell you what though, I could sure just number of bees on the frames. Well, say that, but then there's just, they're not covered. Oh, waggle dance happening. Hopefully I can get that on the screen. See that? Waggle dance right there. That's so freaking cool. The fact that they can do it with me holding it outside the box and it doesn't matter because the sun is the guidepost. So yeah, I may hop back in these gals next week, maybe a little earlier than I planned, just to see if potentially another box, because there's a ton of cat brood and there were a ton of orientation flights happening, so they're building up pretty quickly. Again, this was the car swarm. So maybe add another box next week. I think it's just a hair premature right now. They love when you drop shit. They have eaten a decent amount of the pollen patties, so I'm gonna just leave that chunk of burr comb that's on there because it's got scissor and honey in it, so no point in wasting it. So I'll put this back on here and I'll feed these two later. I just didn't want to bother making up the mix this morning. I don't want to get out here before it's too hot. It's not supposed to be crazy hot today, but when you're amongst the bees, 75 feels like 95. They're generating 95 by themselves. Alright, dummy. You got squashed or something, didn't you? Yep. Alright, we'll just go flop you off. Shit, I forgot to put the trap back in there. Sorry, gals. Look out. Look out. Yeah, I know you hate that, but move. Move, I'm going to squish you. Alright. Comes a point when you... This is for your own good, stupids. Alright. right, again, we'll put syrup back in these two later. I forgot to cover up that bucket. I'm asking for trouble. And there's already a bunch of dead bees in it. Yep, that was stupid. Give them some leaf or something that maybe they'll have a chance. That's annoying. There. You can maybe get on the stick until I uncover this later. So, 10 bees that just flew down in there and killed themselves. Alright, GoPro, stop recording. Alright, we're back here at this one. So there may be one good thing about the plastic lids. They don't stick as easily because they have, they're not pan flat. Bad thing is that also means it lands ants in when you're feeding. So what makes them good sometimes makes them awful sometimes. This was one that kept trying to swarm, and I eventually just gave up on the keeping them out of the super. Took that off. Last time that I checked, which has been several weeks, you can tell by the way it popped, there was enough honey up there that she hadn't started laying up there. We'll see if that's still the case. So come on, no popping or limited popping. There we go. Sticky icky. Make sure Mama's not up here. Always worries me when I see a bunch of bees gathering around one bee, but a lot of times it's just one following a bunch of the others. But yeah. Okay. Set that on the ground out of the way so the box doesn't stick to it. Alright. So here again, they had created a little bit of honey, but like I said, kept swarming, so they kept trying to swarm. So I just eventually took maybe these gals need more smoke for the few number of bees that are here. Got a couple very defensive ladies. So, yeah, nothing. So let's get to where I don't know if these are bait hives or bait frames are brought up or what, but there's a couple frames here with stuff on them, but not many. Ooh, that one's heavy. Oh, yeah. I'll be able to harvest that eventually. So there's one. There's another one next to it. Not quite as full. Yeah, maybe just one side. There's one there that's packed, one there that's packed. So, yeah, we'll leave them alone. I mean, I could harvest 2 or 3 frames, and it's just not worth the hassle. Since I'm going through all 6 hives today, I'll come back, just make a note on the video to come back and harvest the 2 or 3 frames. If they don't go through it before I've done that, they might just, dearth hits before I get to, they might just consume it. All right. Go into my little frame stuck? No, that's surprising actually. Okay. Into the 8 frame stuff here. I haven't done much to this box. This is where I flip the boxes, trying to slow them down, but also trying to get them draw out some of the deep frames that I'd given them newer deep frames when I did the split. And they were just really slow to draw them out, and haven't really. So that one's got crap, that one's got nothing, so let's just skip. Well, let's pull this one so we can get to the middle. Just top to that black frame there that's clearly got some amount of stuff on it. I mean, that one's got nothing, less than nothing. Also didn't look like it had a ton of wax on it, so that one's a resource that, well, that was one that was brewed, now they're backfilling. The resources come on. Ugh. Squish my queen here somewhere probably. Pop this one up just because, yeah, that one was brewed. See some larvae in there. I can't see eggs because I can't see eggs, but hopefully that's full of eggs. I wouldn't know. Tell you what I'm going to do. I will take a picture. First, let me make sure I'm not doing something wonky with my queen. She could be on here, a bunch of empty cells. Nothing, not a ton in them. Let's see. Do this without killing me or the bees. Yeah. I've got my phone in the wrong pocket. Get really down in the frames, and then that way later I can look and see if there were eggs in there. A little spotty pattern on the next one too, which makes me a little nervous, but may just be that they're laying farther over. And I've kicked this one in the teeth so many times trying to get it to slow down swarming that maybe they're just like, okay, we're going to struggle because you're, yeah, that one's, I mean, it's spotty, but there's larvae in between, so she's backfilling. Again, she may even be here. Let's give it a quick look. And still got a freaking queen cup on the bottom, but they're past swarming by now, surely. But yeah, I mean, they're doing work, but not a great amount of work. Looks like resources on the couple frames over. This is where I threw a completely empty frame right in the middle, just trying to slow them down. Again, these gals just would not stop swarming. Yeah, it's a spotty brood frame, so slow these back together. Look in the bottom. Wouldn't think they would be doing their brooding down there, but you never know. They've had a decent population come and going. Just that super spotty brood pattern makes me nervous, because if there's no eggs in that, then I'm toast. Alright, I just probably squashed a bee, which has got their attention. Yep, let's get... The tone hath changed. Oh, and she stuck me on the finger. Damn it. Yep, the tone hath changed. Probably squashed one. Man. Alright. Let's get into that box, bottom box real quick. Let's just throw this here. There's nothing on either one of them. Get that bottom box real quick, and hopefully I see more eggs there. Even larvae. There wasn't a ton of larvae here. Man, that hurt right in the finger. Okay. Alright, gals. You really are. This hive. They ate frame, they want to swarm like crazy, and now they're trying to kill me, so. Come on, there we go. Good population in here. And they are hot. Makes me wonder if they are queenless. Well, no, they had, I mean, well, they could have larvae and still be queenless. It's just, there were some larvae in there. Just not a ton of eggs. Of course, that may just be time of the year. She's starting to slow down a little bit with summer kicking in. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to pull it towards the middle just because so many bees on the outside. Man, I can't even get into these gals. They are screaming. They are not happy. Whew. Makes me wonder if they're not queenless. Like recently. Even with the larvae showing up. Oh, resources galore. Look at that. That's gorgeous. But spotty brood. And these gals are going everywhere. No brood. You got gals. Yeah. Yeah, this is just Resource City down here, which is to be expected. A little nervous then, because there's not a ton of brood up top. I mean, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Well, there's plenty of room for her to lay. That's not the issue. So if she's not laying, it's because she's not laying. So this was the new queen from the split too. So, but again, I've also knocked the piss out of them a bunch of times. They could have swarmed and I just not even known it because of they were trying to swarm so often that I definitely could have missed it. Yeah, let's get out of these girls. They're hot. I don't know if the dearth is over, but their tolerance for me appears to be over. Get off the edge of the box because I can't put a frame there or the box there. All right, let's get these guys back together and get out of here. Now we do the try not to squish them thing. And still squish them. But squish less, maybe. Angle corner slide works decent, but again, you still end up squishing a couple. There's just no way around it. Just not possible. All right, get these back on, and then I'm gonna take a little break because to give these girls a chance to calm down. Because they're just fired up. And I'm going to be standing close enough to them that I don't want to be them to be fired up. That's wild. Bunch of them. No, never mind. They got off. All right, I forgot to put the trap back in the bottom box. We'll stick it here just because that's better than nothing. There's probably got a little too much water in it, but I hadn't seen much in the way of small hive beetles, so famous last words. Alright. These gals back up. Slide that over as much as possible. They're going to propolis that back because of the 10-8 interface, but bruh. Alright, a bunch of bees here. None of you are the queenright. Nope. Alright. Let's slide the. I'm going to stop it. They're hot, but they're back in the box, so they should be fine. Let's go over to here. All right. Ah, shit! I forgot to put the inner cover back on. Wah wah wah. And that part doesn't need to be on camera. My incompetence of forgetting things. Still technically on camera, the audio's running. Alright. So now we are here to. This is one that swarmed, that I took honey off, right? Yeah. And put a wet super. No, I didn't put a wet super back on this one. I only took one thing of honey off too because they were weaker. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this from the other side. These gals still want to kill me. That'll work out for the camera or any better anyway. All right, let's do it from this side. All right. Let's get some. Decent amount of bees. Don't drop the lid. Okay. It's just warm enough that the propolis is sticky. Ooh, Jesus. It's like a bee gods heard me and said, "Hey, funny guy." Shouldn't be anything wonky going on here, so I shouldn't. Famous last words. Alright, so not gonna do much up here. This is the honey super I didn't pull. I'll just look and see what we got. I think this is the one I didn't pull. Did I put a wet one back on this one? No, I put it back on there, and then yeah, I just left one here because it wasn't completely drawn out. It still isn't. Let's pull a frame or two towards the middle honey frame and see what we got. I don't want to be at too long. There is a dearth, and there's just some angry bees around. It's heavy, just not capped. So, but several that aren't. I mean, I'll be able to pull 4 or 5 more frames to probably harvest, but I'm not going to bother now. There's not a lot of value in it. I'll just leave that till the end of the season. Alright. That's funny. There's one bee in the middle of this lid that's got her tail up just gnashing off and like crazy, and all the other bees are coming to her. That's hilarious. She's like, they're gathering probably to kick my ass, but ugh. This is what I want to stick, I can already tell. Yep. Need to make sure the frames don't come with it though. There we go. Yep. Shoot. Trying to twist it. Poop. It just refuses to come off. Fuck. I hate when I do that. Alright. Tilt it up. Grab the stupid thing. There we go. Kill slightly fewer bees that way. I don't know why I'm not doing that like that instead. Alright. Trap drones. Other than that, all is well. Let's see here. Not much. I mean, looks like decent resources here. Hopefully there's decent brood here. Get a little nervous with the other two hives being a little light on the brood. This frame out of the way. Good draw. Oh, there's, well, I gotta be careful. That's funny. There, she's laying out here. That's larva in the last frame. Huh. Might be eggs there too, I just can't see, but the larva is just enough off-white that it stained the wax. Alright. So she's up here doing magic. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find a brood frame that's capped. That looks like honey. Oh no, that's brood. Jesus. So full it looked like honey. Okay, yeah, that's excellent. Still making drones, which is kind of weird. But there's larvae in there. Again, I can't see eggs, so I'm not even going to bother looking. The next frame probably has eggs on it because it's not as filled, but I can't see eggs because I'm all the sighteds. Alright, so this one we'll just hop back out. There's no point. This is the one that, let's see. I gotta get, no, this is the Damari that swarmed. Jesus. I gotta start bringing my notes. Or nothing else, have my phone open so I can see the video notes. This is the one that would Damari'd but still swarmed. Replaced the queen. She's still laying. That's all I need to know. So, I mean, the fact she's laying all the way out here is kind of wild. They tend to lay, because this side of the hive sees sun faster because of the trees, they tend to lay more this half than center like they would on a normal hive that gets more blanket, you know, uniform sun. Oh, stuck bastard. So they've done that always in this yard because it's in the back corner with a bunch of trees, so it's to be expected. Alright. I will put the inner cover on this sometime. Is there a... I'll go ahead and throw a small hive beetle trap in here. There probably is one down there anyway, but... well, that's got shit all over it, so not that one. Yeah, that one's fairly empty. Let's get some juice in that one. It is hot, and it is only 70 degrees, but still crazy hot out here. Maybe 75, but sun's beating down, no wind, so I'm just getting roached. Well, spot wiggle stick. There we go. That's too close to the middle, makes me nervous. There we go. Alright, should be in maybe one farther down, but that's okay. Alright, gals, I need you to wait for me to grab the inner cover again. sure if I squeezed any or not. I mean, you're always going to squish a couple. There's no way around it. Just hope you don't hear the telltale crunch. Hey, GoPro, stop recording because I need a break. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, now we're into... what is this one? And my brain's just fried today. This is the one I split. So, splits, Damaris, yes. They've done decent, but not spectacular. And so, as long as they're still doing decent, I don't really care. I mean, this year's really not about honey production, it's about build up for next year. Oh, ton of bees on the top. Oh, relatively. It's typically a good sign, or at least not a bad one. So when you open it up, there's nobody up there, which is what I'm worried is going to happen on that one that I demaried and then may have gotten robbed. So this one I also need to pull that stupid small hive beetle tray out. Probably just leave it out for a while. Yeah, because I just don't use it like you're supposed to, so it's basically closed or open instead of the small hive beetle trap thing it's supposed to IPM it's supposed to be. Alright, this one they've done, I mean there's a couple frames drawn, but those are probably bait frames, so I'm not even going to pull that at all. There's no value. So let's just go ahead and get into here. Sticky but not awful. Let's see. Yeah, I mean there's two frames that are just bulging, but again those may have just been frames I pulled up. Maybe one other that's good but not great. Did I just put the damn Queenless clear on the bottom like a dummy. Hopefully she wasn't there for that. Probably not, but man, that thing was stuck too. No wonder. As I spill the bees everywhere. Almost. Okay. Alright. Just throw this. Yeah, doesn't matter at this point. I've already floppity-duppited everywhere. So quick check. I need to put small hive beetle traps back in that I forgot to do last time. Quick check. We got brood. We're out. There's no, like I said, this one's still building up. Not a lot to do here. This one I did flip the boxes last time, which is why you don't see a ton up here, except that stupid small hive beetle. You mother. Come here. Die, die, die. It was inside a cell and then tried to fly out and I got it. Which illustrates I need to put those traps back in here. That one's bulging with resources. That one has mostly nothing. That one has some brood, so we'll give it a peek. These gals are relatively, man, I'm jinxed myself, relatively docile. Again, I'm trying to go slow and it's got to have eggs in there, right? I can't see them, but there's larvae, maybe. No. I mean, it's a perfect place to. She hasn't back laid there. She's silly because there's plenty of room to do it. There's larvae there, and probably eggs. I can see teeny tiny larvae. Yeah, so there's. I just can't see it. Oh, no, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm seeing eggs. You get the light just right. The problem is that the triangle little hex thing at the bottom, because of the overlapping weave from back to front, makes it look like. Oh wait, there's the queen. Son of a bitch. There she is, crawling around right there on the outside. That's the. See, that's the replacement queen, I think. So don't you dare fly out. Get back in there. All right, let's be insanely careful. Pushing frames back together. She was at the top and looked like she was gonna say eat. So, all right, we're done. I mean, we've got a queen. There's eggs and larvae on that frame. So she's doing her magic. Let's get out of here. That was, let's see. Yeah, that would have been a replacement queen. That would have been the one from the Honey and Bee Co. / Rosman. Yeah, awesome. That's rare. I mean, I never find the queen. Almost ever on hives with this many bees in it, but she was just right there, which is risky because when I popped this stupid thing off, because she could have been right there. But She wasn't. We're good. Get it all back together. Let them do their magic the rest of the time. Looks like they had a decent amount of resources. If nothing else, they got 3 or 4 frames of honey up here. So, I mean, probably come back in 2 weeks on everybody, minus feeding the ones that are small and just feeding them. And then when I come back in 2 weeks, I gotta imagine the dearth is mostly over, or the nectar flow is mostly over by the end of their sun. So I'll just stick feeders on everywhere then. So, excuse me. All right, sweet. Saw a queen. Could have, son of a bitch. All right, let's go up here. Forgot to put the half trap or small hive beetle trap back in. Oh, that one's still got a bunch of grossness in it. So, yeah, that small hive beetle I killed was on this frame, first frame. So, usually like to push them outward and upward, which is obviously what that was. So, all right, I don't have to worry about any of these being the queen, so because I've already seen her. Just throwing some sticks and shit in there. Sorry, gals. Sweet. All right, let's get this shifted over here. This is where I'm nervous. This is the one where I put 2 wet supers on way too early in the day, evening, and didn't know that because I'm still learning. And then just, I'm pretty sure robbing ensued. The wild thing is there was robbing happening at the same time as the orientation flights happening, which was really just, I mean, bees everywhere. Wet blanketed them, and I think slowed it down, but definitely did not stop it. So, this one, there is a chance I might pull a super on this one, to be honest, because this one had that, what was the 4th super on it? Oh man, that was a lot of I did not exist. There's still a shit ton of bees in here, even if I did get robbed a little, because that, I started to pull that up and it was a they said you are knocking. Oh wow, that's great. A lot of bees. Can't see the inner cover yet, but there's a lot of bees on it too, which is a good sign. I've been worried because there haven't been as many up here. Just flying in and out as there was before the robbing honey harvest happened, but like I said, I got the blanket on quickly enough. I think I slowed it down, and again, knocking on all the wood, this hive was super strong. So if anyone was going to defend robbing, it would have been these gals. Yeah, still looking good. Look out, gals, I don't want to kill you. All right, it's impossible to look at these hives. It's wild. All right, I'm gonna stick this over here somewhere, peek into this before I bring it down. This was the wet super I put back on. So, I mean, there's a ton of bees here on one, couple, but so I'll just pop that down, then peek into it when I'm down here. My biggest question is there anything in there? And again, is there laying queen? So, for something in this one, I've got 2 Nuke Pros. I may actually go ahead and harvest it just to give them not so much space to defend. Man, there's a shit ton of bees still in this thing. That's good. I'll pull one of these frames real quick as I can, because I don't leave this open too long. I'm just curious to see what they did, or doing rather. Not a ton. There's a lot of bees on it. They're just drinking it, but they've already started back filling nectar on those wet supers I put back, which is awesome. Here, there's enough nectar in there that I'm gonna cover these gals up between. So it's funny, this hive sees, because of the greenhouse, sees more sun on this side in the morning. So you can see what that does. That makes a bunch of bees happen right here. Again, this is just what was another wet super. You're clear doing stuff too, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop it down here. Let's take a look at it because I can't see shit. And that'll give a chance for some of those bees to boot scoot, hopefully. I'll tell you what, let me just smoke them right here. Maybe I can get them out of the way. Let you gals go down so I can see into the box. There we go. There we go. It's amazing. Smokers work. I'm gonna pull. Tell you what, I'm gonna pull a frame closer to the middle, mainly because I don't want to squish all these bees that are on this end frame. Because that one, obviously, I haven't done as much to it. It's still got weight to it, which is wild. That they've already put enough to make it feel, give it weight. This is a super, so I'll just stick that frame back in here when I'm done. Oh yeah, oh wow, that's gorgeous and wild. They're putting, oh shit. That is not, no, it's not. I thought I had larvae there. Man. That's wild that they pulled a bunch of pollen up into this super frame. I gotta think about that though. Doesn't that mean that there might be, or maybe there was one frame that had some pollen in it. Maybe I'll have to go back and look at my notes. Might be just that one had pollen in it to begin with, but I mean, it's got a queen excluder on, unless you just snuck up here when I was pulling supers. All right, let's just get in the next box and we'll figure it out. Yeah, that's the wild thing is I'm going to be able to get more honey off this stupid thing and off the wet supers I put back on. Good news so far is that so many bees here that surely they weren't completely wiped out. Again, and I'm jinxing myself because I'm not into the box that matters yet, which is brood chamber. So I'm not going to do much here because, again, I can see this was not, I think I just put the wet supers directly back on top, so there shouldn't be much. This one's the one that I hadn't harvested because it was super thin, and it's still that way. There's almost nothing on there, so they haven't really drawn that out. So we'll leave that alone. Again, quickly get into the brood chamber. I need to see a larva, preferably a small larva, and then we're out. So many bees. So many bees. This is one that I gotta I gotta get somebody to help me figure out how to get queens off this thing this year, and then I'll take them to the John's hives and just replace them this fall. Let's do this just to avoid carnage later. Now, again, all I need is to make sure I've got a clean queen after the robbing scare. They're getting loud over here. They may just be getting hot with that. Still tons of larvae. Oh, larva. So they didn't wipe her out. Some of it's bigger larvae, but let's see. That was on. I'm gonna put those. It's today's Friday. Well, I put those wet supers back in on Tuesday, so that's not a guarantee. They're all big larvae too. So let's look at a couple more frames. Definitely don't want to go all the way to the second box because that'll be resources anyway, probably. But want to see some small larvae. Or a queen, that'd be awesome. Oh, there's nothing on it. There's tons of resources. It's weird that they've laid on that frame. Resources. Now I'm getting nervous again. Some of this should be brood, but recently popped brood. There's just so many bees here. Come on. You want to be a queen. I mean, that was larva, but that was also big larva. Technically could have probably been, what is it? Yeah. Oh, I hate it when they get on my fingers. Yeah, there's nothing in these. Damn it. That's honey. Piss. Gonna have to get in that other box just to, yeah, resources. No brood. Was certain there was going to be brood in here, or hoping rather. Certain is definitely not the word. I was worried there wouldn't be. All right, let's just create some space. That's not. Are you mama? No. 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 Drone. Just a. Yeah, this is all resources, which is not what I wanted to see. Shift. I would put that in the middle because that's where you normally want brood, but they put it over here, so I'll put it back where they had it. Queen might be on there, but if I still have one. They're not just screaming and trying to kill me. Again, famous last words, I start jinxing myself, which I would think they would be if they were queenless. Man, that's a massive drone. There's larvae in there, but it's like larger larvae. I'm trying to see if I can see some smaller stuff. And I don't. It's all that big fat white larva that you see, not the little smaller stuff. Alright. Did not want to get into the bottom box, but here we go. Let's take this off. Yeah, hope and pray. Yeah, get off my hand. There's. Oh, shit, that's heavy. Man, that's heavy. That's mostly resources if it's that heavy. Alright, let's get some smoke on these gals so I can scoot them down to get the thing on, and then I'll get smoke on the others to get them down to. Probably should have put. I might start getting that wet too, just to. So somewhere where someone does use no smoke, but they just use a wet washcloth kind of thing. So probably not an awful idea. Again, we're gonna hope for some brood here because that couple bit of larva up top is not. That's all I got. I'm probably queenless. More big larvae. I can't see freaking eggs. Resource. Make sure I don't just see her on here. Take a quick glance. Again, I'm gonna scooch towards the middle. Look out. I got you, didn't I? Alright, more smoke. These gals are getting a little hotter. And I just smashed one, so they're obviously generally angry. Resource, no. Brood, I see a lot of uncapped brood. Yeah, I'm really getting nervous now. Let's just go farther in. Because really getting to the point where I'm not confident that I have a queen. I still have a metric shit ton of bees, but they also, all that brood's popped now. They just have a ton of bees and nothing coming back in. So what I'll probably do is get back in these gals in a week. There's more brood. That's good. But still, some cap larvae. Yeah. Again, I'm seeing some larvae, but just not a ton more cap brood in the next frame. Alright, last frame I'm going to pull just because these gals are getting hot. Which makes me, again, more worried because if they're that hot, they just may be queenless. Again, larvae, but it's all the big fat whiteys. Well, no, I take it back. There's a smaller one. I think I may see a couple smaller ones. Alright. I'm still going to come back in a week and take a peek just to be safe. Because if not, I'm going to have to combine with the other one. But right now, there are a gajillion bees everywhere, and they all want to kill me. These gals are getting hot. The ones in the other box are getting hot. Move. Don't squash you. Probably squashed you anyway. There we go. Get these gals back in here. Close up shop. All right. Yeah, they're again. I think they're hot because I've been in here too long, not because they're necessarily queenless, but pretty sure I saw some small larvae there. Fingers crossed, I guess, at this point. So let's just get everything back together and we'll worry. We'll worry. But fuck, right on their hand, you shithead. Man. Yep. I'm ready to be out of here. They're ready for me to be out of here. These guys are going to be hot for a minute. Man, that was a meaty part of the palm. All right. You gals go away. Get back in the damn box so I can be done. Bruh. Oh, smashed the shit out of that one. Alright. This hive still has a million damn bees in it, even if it is queenless. She was just slaying so prolifically for so long that it doesn't matter that it's still gonna have a ton of bees for a while, which is why I gotta wait another week, really. Because by then, I'll know whether I truly have queenless hive. Because then there won't be any larvae in there. If in another week I don't see any larvae, I know that we're queenless. So many freaking bees, good lord. Piss. Sticking, I need to cross lay those when I'm you bastards, get out of the way. Yeah, I don't like you either right now, so get over it. I have to stay away from these gals for a little bit. They are angry with me. Yep. Sorry, gals. I try not to smash you, but there's a million of you. One or two's not going to kill everything. And I don't know if I already any small hive beetle traps in there. I don't think I did, but let's just throw this in there. It's probably mostly water, but it's better than nothing. Man, again, this hive still has so many bees. Problem is that they've all hatched, so unless she starts laying prolifically soon, we're going to be in trouble. Well, not in trouble. I've got another hive I can combine, but losing that queen stock after how good they've been is really annoying. Alright, that one's dead. A bunch stuck halfway, which is gross and sucks, but nothing I can do. Let's see, is that... No, I can't move it now. That's good enough. Alright, GoPro, stop recording.